Hello everyone, Kevin Stevenson here with GetMeTheGeek.com, and today we're going to talk about intrusion detection and prevention system built into OPNsense, how to enable, why you should do it, and all that good stuff. Let's get started. All right, here we go. So here we are once again in our OPNsense. So first things first, what I want to talk to you about is what we did in the past. So if you go down here, if you remember, back in the firewall, we set up some aliases, and so we showed you how to do the URL table from spam hosts, and also proof points, emerging threats. And so if you go down here to our rules, our way inside, you're going to see the GeoIP blocking we set up and the proof point that we set up in here too. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disable both of those for right now. And the reason why is because we are going to use rule sets for IDS, and there's a little bit of overlap, so I'm going to disable that so that we just have that not interfering. Okay, so let's first talk about what intrusion detection prevention systems is, what OPNsense uses. So first of all, OPNsense uses Suricata underneath, under the hood, as its IDS IPS system. And you can find that by going down here to services and clicking on IDS, intrusion detection, and click on administration. This is where we're going to be able to enable it. So easy peasy, flip over here to the help. You can flip those on and off. So it'll give you a little bit of information about how these are set up. So first things first, you're going to have to enable it. You can go ahead and set it in IPS mode, otherwise it'll be in IDS mode. So the difference is detection versus blocking. So there you go. Promiscuous mode, enable alerts in your syslog, okay? And in the pattern matcher, you can go through here and decide what you want, do a little research. I'm just gonna flip mine over to Hyperscan because I've heard that it does a little bit better, but your results may vary, and so go ahead and do the research on that when you want to know, if you want to know more about that, right? All right, so for our interface, now Suricata will work on your LAN or your WAN. Now, in my particular case, we already have XenArmor set up for the LAN side, and so we don't want these two systems stepping on each other, right? So we're just going to have it enabled for the WAN side, okay? Log rotation, set that to weekly, whatever you choose, right? And then hit apply. And that's really what it takes to get this going, right? So we really haven't done much. We just enabled it. We have no rules or nothing like that, so it's not going to do anything. So you'll see over here in this top corner your service where you can restart it, stop it, and start it, okay? So what really makes this unique or gives it all its power is the rule sets. And so if you look through here, if you followed in our last video, you're going to recognize some of these things, some of these names here. So like this right here, that was one of the rules you could enable in the IP tables. Same thing with a lot of these emerging threats, these ET ones, right? And these ET ones are going to come from Proofpoint. I will tell you that OPNsense does have the ability to use the pro version of Proofpoint, and you actually get to use a slightly lesser version for free in OPNsense, and we're not going to cover that in this video, but maybe we'll cover it in another video later. So you see OPNsense has a few of their own set up in here on the app detection that's unique to this, and these are all the rules you do. So you want to select them, hit enable, and that'll change this checkbox over to here, and then you're going to want to download those rules. That's going to go out to the internet and get the copy of those rules. Now, while it's doing that, let's talk a little bit about what these rules are. So if you remember that if you remember this, if you notice this little site here, emergingthreats.net. So we're going to just take that, I'm going to copy that, go over here and paste it in, and you're going to notice that's going to take us directly to Proofpoint's website. So like I said, these are coming from Proofpoint, but how does this differ what we're doing now than the firewall rules that we got before? So here's that emerging threats block IP list that we had previously for Proofpoint that we're using in the alias, right? here it is. It's just a list of a bunch of IP addresses, right? So emerging threats from Proofpoint has rules for Snort and Suricata. Since in this particular case, OPNsense is using Suricata. So here is the page on how to do this. You really don't have to do any of this. This is if you had your own Snort or Suricata instance installed and you want to get these rules set up. But so let's look at these rules. So here is an example of the emerging threat rules, the Suricata version. And as you can see, when you look through these give you alerts and stuff like that, and gives you descriptions way more complicated than just an IP list, right? If you followed on in my previous video, if you didn't, go check that out. I'll wait. Just kidding. You can come back. You can pause the video and come back if you want. But really, blocking just an IP address is going to be less load, simpler on your firewall than going through and using such as Snort or Suricata, the built-in IDS for OPNsense. So if you were resource constrained, you may want to consider going and using the IP block list rules instead of using Suricata. But in our case, we're going to use this. And so like I said, here is one of those lists, and you can read through this stuff and figure out and kind of look at it. And if you look at it, you can kind of see what's going on. But this isn't really meant for humans to read. So let's just close that down. Okay, so you want to go through these rules and enable the ones that you're interested in. You could probably enable them all. However, that might be a lot of load and a lot of rules. So we're going to pick like this malware one here. And we're also going to click the mobile malware one and click enable. And then go ahead and click download selected rules and updates. It's going to get those rules and download them. And so there you go. You see, here's the download of those rules. So if you go over here to the rules section, then you're going to see, as I've enabled a couple other ones, you're going to see a whole heck of a lot of rules there, right? And they'll have various actions. There'll be alerts or drops. You can go up here to filters and see drops and alerts and so on and so forth. Everything in this appears to be an alert so far. So if we go back here and look at so we have emerging threats open drops. So I would imagine that would have been a drop, maybe not. Okay, so that's our rules, and you can go and you can make user-defined ones in here, and then here is the alert and scheduling stuff. So scheduling is important. Here's where you're going to want to enable how frequently your rule sets are gone out there and get updates. So in a production environment, you may want to do it more frequently, or it depends on how you want it. So depends on the load of your network. You might want to do it in off hours, things like that. So just go ahead and enable that. And then let's just do it every 12 hours. You can change these. It can be days of the week, months, so on and so forth. And then go ahead and click save. If you notice, that's actually under system and then settings and cron. And so here are the cron job rules. So you see that we have OPNsense doing that, and then we have every 12 hours for our IDS rules update, right? So now we can go back down here, go to services, IDS, and you can look at the log file, and you can see stuff right here. You go to policies, some adjustments there. And like I said, administration, where you do everything. That's all there is to it. All right, there you go. You've got Suricata set up for intrusion detection and prevention, and that's all there is to it. Go ahead and choose the rules you want. If you run into errors, things start blocking, you also check the event log to see what it is. If you have users complaining about not being able to get someplace, it could be blocked from your IPS. And so then you can go in and make adjustments based on that. We'll see you next time.